Good morning. Thank you so much for coming here, either in person or online, to the Underdogs and Oil Spill Seminar. I'm Emily Maung-Douglass, and I'll be your tour guide for the next few hours. We are here at this beautiful U.S. Fish and Wildlife facility for the day. So I just wanted to ask our host to come up and speak for a moment. We've got Kayla Kimmel, who will be just telling us a little bit about this beautiful facility and some of the things about the day.
All right, thank you, Emily. Well, on behalf of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, we just wanted to welcome you guys to Big Branch National Wildlife Refuge. This is one of 8 Louisiana refuges that make up the Louisiana Southeast National Wildlife Refuge Complex. National Wildlife Refuges, just like this one, are open to the public, and they are a great place for all of your nature-based recreational enjoyment. So whatever that looks like for you, whether it's hunting, fishing, observation, or wildlife photography, I'm sure there's a refuge for you, and there's many great ones that you can visit. Here at Big Branch, there is a visitor center that we will open today for you. It's a lovely visitor center during our lunch hour, so about 11:30 to 1 if you'd like to visit it. And there's also trails if you dare to take a quick trail walk through. There's trails around, and any of the brochures are here on the table if you want to learn more about any of the refuges. And just real quick, wanted to acknowledge and thank the refuge staff that prepared the facilities and room for us today. And then also Louisiana Sea Grant that did a really great job of pulling all this together for our seminar that we're gonna enjoy. So thank you guys and welcome again.
Thank you so much, Kayla. All right, so before we get into talking a little bit about these underappreciated animals and how they can be impacted by oil spills and how they might play into restoration as well, I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the programs that are bringing the science to you here today. I just wanted to give thanks to our funding agencies, which are the Gulf of Mexico Sea Grant programs, which I'm part of. I'm with Louisiana Sea Grant, as well as the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, which I'll explain a little bit about how they fund Sea Grant to do oil spill science outreach. And also, again, thanks to U.S. Fish and Wildlife for being really gracious hosts to us here. So a little bit about Sea Grant's Oil Spill Science Outreach Program. It's a really long title, but we do some work that you may be interested in. We have this partnership to extend science to folks between the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, or GOMRI, and the Gulf of Mexico Sea Grant programs that started back in 2014. GOMRI, as you might already be aware, is a $500 million investment by BP from non-penalty funds, so it's completely separate from the Restore Act. And somehow I am on an automatic clicker. I apologize. So it's from non-penalty funds, and its mission is to really help fill in knowledge gaps in terms of things that we didn't know during Deepwater Horizon, like what would the impact of an oil spill of that magnitude be on our fisheries, our wildlife, the recovery of those areas, as well as people who depend on like a clean Gulf for their livelihood. So GOMRI, by the year 2020, by the end of the year 2020, will have funded more than $500 million worth of research and outreach efforts. One of those investments in outreach is Sea Grant. And so Sea Grant has actually been around for 50 years. And we are not just one, but actually a collection of 33 programs across the country. I like to tell people that wherever there is a coastal zone like a Gulf of Mexico or an ocean or a Great Lake, there's a Sea Grant program. We are non-advocacy and university-based. So for example, in Louisiana, the Sea Grant is based out of LSU. And non-advocacy meaning that while we don't push specific viewpoints, we do try to provide the best available science on any given topic. We work in these 4 focus areas, all of which you can imagine could be impacted by oil spills. So when GOMRI and Sea Grant partnered together back in 2014 to form this outreach effort in oil spill science, we formed this 6-member team among the 4 different Sea Grant programs here in the Gulf of Mexico. Our programs are from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama have a joint program, and Florida Sea Grant participates as well. So we have specialists, 4 of them, myself included. We're all listed along the top here. And we have different areas of scientific expertise. And for our program, we focus on different things ranging from public health and social sciences to fisheries and ecotoxicology and physical oceanography. So all different areas of oil spill science. We also have a program manager and a communications specialist as well. I'd actually like to give a shout out to a couple of my team members that are here in person. So we've got Missy Partika. She's with Mississippi, Alabama Sea Grant. We've got Tara Skelton, also with Mississippi, Alabama Sea Grant. And a big shout out to my 2 team members who are giving remote assistance with all the technical support stuff, Chris Hale and Monica Wilson. I'd also like to give a shout out to Louisiana Sea Grant legal team member who's actually also helping with some of the remote technical assistance today, Melissa Daigle. She's also online helping out. So our program really works by trying to understand the needs of our target audiences, which are those who could use oil spill science for on-the-job decision-making, but also those who depend on a clean and healthy Gulf of Mexico for their livelihoods. And so over the past close to 5 years of our program, we've met with more than a couple thousand folks from those target audiences, trying to understand what types of oil spill science questions they have and the best ways to get that information to them. So we stay true to the Sea Grant model, which is being a neutral broker of information. That means taking peer-reviewed published science and government white papers and synthesizing that information and translating it out of scientific jargon and putting it into layperson language for our audiences. So that means that we end up creating a suite of products. Really, our bread and butter are our seminars, like the one that we're having today, and our oil spill outreach publications, like those ones over there. They're all free for you all to take. If you're joining in online, you'll notice that we have our webpage down at the bottom of the screen, and you can access any one of our PDF publications there. You can also request hard copies as well. They're free to look at anytime. So as I mentioned, we have a suite of outreach publications. Those are 8-pagers, but also fact sheets as well, and they cover a wide range of topics. You can also check out our website and say there was something you really enjoyed hearing today and you're like, oh, I want to listen to that again. Or maybe, you know, if you're tuning in online and you have to step out, I'm so sorry about that, have to step out to a meeting and you miss part of the day's talks, you can actually go back to the website and check out individual guest speaker presentations. One thing that I did want to mention for this audience that I thought could be useful for you all is the GOMRI database called GridC. So something really cool about GOMRI funded researchers is that they are obligated to load up their data onto this this database. So there's actually a lot of transparency, and there's over 2,000 and something data sets available on there. So if you have any interest in any of the topics that we're talking about today, or maybe one that we're not covering, but you're interested in what the data actually look like, you can check out the database at GridC at that data.gulfresearchinitiative.org. And if you actually take a look at what that looks like, when you enter the page, you can see that there's a little, okay, I have no idea what's going on with the clicker, but there's a search bar on there, and you can actually enter in whatever topic it is that you're curious about, whether it's some species of clam or maybe a foraminifera You can check it out and see if there's data available on it. So what is our day looking like? So we're starting out in the deep at the bottom of the seafloor, looking at foraminifera, and moving our way into the water column. We're going to be talking about those animals, zooplankton, that are sort of floating along in the breeze of the water column. We're going to take a quick break to get some caffeine in us so that we can fully focus our attentions to some really cool information on sturgeon and alligator gar and other species of interest. We're going to take that break for question and answers with our morning guest speakers. And then we're going to have a one talk before lunch. Scott Zengel has that honor. He's smiling back there. Talking about some terrestrial creatures out in the marsh. And then we'll have a lunch break. Then we're going to continue our work in the marsh, talking about, again, more animals that people often don't talk about in the press during an oil spill. So our insects and spiders and how everything's all connected in that food web context. And then we're going to wrap up by covering some other underdogs that you all might not necessarily be thinking about when you read things in the media after a spill. And then we're going to close with another question and answer panel. And then hopefully you all will take a few moments at the very end of today's talks to fill out that evaluation that's in your welcome packet there.